Okay, hello everyone. I'm Maria, and I'm really happy to present this work to you today, The Unusual Suspects. Okay, now content management systems are everywhere on the web. And while they are quite popular because they're also user-friendly, they can also come with vulnerabilities in their code. And this is poses quite serious risks because the popularity of CMS such as WordPress allows attackers really to automate the exploitation across a large number of websites. And this poses risks not only to the website owner, but also to the website visitor, to the hosting provider, and really to the entire online community. Now, the most effective way to reduce these risks is to keep the systems up to date, so to at least protect against all known vulnerabilities. However, recent reports have shown that over half of all CMS installations in the wild lack the latest security patches. And this is just really important to understand why many website owners do not update their content management systems in order to increase overall web security. So this is our research question: why do many website owners not update their CMS? In order to address this question, we designed a study inspired by grounded theory. And this allowed us to explore the phenomenon of non-updating in an open bottom-up manner without relying on pre-existing hypotheses. So specifically, we used the method of data triangulation, meaning that we looked at two different data sources that were collected by the same methods, specifically semi-structured interviews. Now, the first data set we looked at was interviews with website owners with outdated content management systems. And the second one, interviews with website professionals from the field of web development and hosting. This gave us a more objective view on the research question. And we analyzed our data by using the grounded theory method. Specifically, or this means that we applied a bottom-up coding strategy. And we did this until our data reached saturation, meaning that no new themes or categories emerged from the data, or from new interviews, really. And this resulted into two interconnected data sources, at its core there was the interviews with the website owners. We identified categories, themes here, and by using targeted data triangulation, we enriched and complemented these data with the interviews of the website professionals. Now, this method allowed us, or helped us, to identify 6 isolated key reasons of non-updating, and it also helped us to come up with a framework of barriers preventing updates. On this slide, you can see now the 6 identified key categories. And I would like to embed this a little bit into prior literature as well, because these in yellow have actually been factors that have been identified by the different literature, analyzing, or related literature, analyzing update behavior in different ecosystems, specifically end users in their private devices and system administrators who sometimes as well avoid or delay updates. So although within these categories we found some website owner CMS-specific particularities that were quite interesting, overall we can say that, as in previous literature, a lack of threat and risk awareness, a high perception of update risks, a lack of technical competence, understanding, and skills, and high update costs in terms of time and money negatively influenced participants' update behavior. So more importantly, though, we did identify 2 key categories that have not been explicitly addressed in the prior literature, or not discussed. The value of the website and delegation, and we found that these 2 factors influence our website owners' CMS update behavior far more decisively. So I would like to talk about them in a little bit more detail. Now, the value of the website really emerged as the central, most important category in our data. Because many of our participants, here we found that many of our participants did not value their website at all, even if it was business websites. And they didn't show any motivation or expressed any motivation to keep their website or to care further for their website in terms of content or technical related terms. However, on the other side, we also had participants in our sample who considered the importance of their website as high or even very high. And they did express this motivation, but they still had outdated content management systems. So this strong contrast motivated us to solve the puzzle, to approach the puzzle, why many website owners who do value their website not update. And we did this by further breaking down the category value of the website into its further subcomponents and by looking at the other factors I've mentioned earlier to see what is going on there. And one factor that turned out to be really important in this context was the category delegation. And here we found that many website owners or participants had delegated some tasks to external collaborators, either during website creation or maintenance. And by analyzing these reported relationships, we identified 4 dimensions of delegation, which under certain circumstances could lead to issues that negatively influenced participants' update behavior. I picked one out for you, the formalization degree, which is a dimension that is characterized by the question whether the collaboration is based on formal contracts or on rather loose verbal agreements that are often associated with a mutual exchange of favors. And if the latter was the case, that the collaboration was based on a mutual exchange of or on loose verbal agreements, this could lead to issues such as responsibility diffusion, meaning that no party really felt responsible for updates, to disabling, meaning that the website owner sometimes felt not able anymore to touch the website or didn't want to do updates because of the complex plugin structure introduced by the external collaborator, or to inhibitions to reach out to the external collaborator because they didn't want to bother them because of things like updates. And these insights from the value of the website, delegation, and the other 4 factors that I've introduced earlier, gave us insights to come up with a framework of barriers preventing updates that might be used or helpful in the future to identify website owners who might be still convinced or swayed to update their content management systems. Now, in this framework, we identified this framework is made out of 4 non-update scenarios. And at its core, it's really the website value which decides where that route goes. Now, if the website value is low, and this significantly diminishes website owners' motivation to update. And this leads to neglect of the website in terms of technical or content-related terms. And this factor was so strong that it really overshadowed other factors that might have been at play here, such as a lack of risk awareness or lack of technical skills. Now, if the website value was high, though, people still expressed this motivation to update, and it was other factors at play which reduced their motivation to update. And at their core, they were really based on the perceived technical skills of the website owner. If it was high, usually they didn't take any external collaborator or help on board, and they were self-reliant. When they did not update, it was because of a lack of risk awareness, for instance. If their perceived technical skills were low, they did take external help on board, external collaborators, and sometimes they had really fully even delegated the task to a web agency. But they still did not act as exemplified as in one example in our data, where the website owner decided together with the web agency not to update the important website, an old important website, because they didn't want to break anything. They'd rather wait until the new website is finished. Sometimes only partial tasks are delegated or to an external collaborator, but when this was based on more loose verbal agreements, it could lead to issues as responsibility diffusion or disabling, which again inhibited updates. And this again, these issues were so strong that they did overshadow really other factors at play, such as the lack of risk awareness. Okay, so what are the implications here? If the website value is low, website owners do not express any motivation to care for their website any further. And as it seems to be quite hard to influence the website owner or the value of the website externally, we believe that even the best crafted vulnerability notifications or warnings might fail. And this is quite interesting, for instance, for literature on vulnerability notifications, which has repeatedly shown that it is really hard to warn website owners about vulnerabilities on their systems. And even if these notifications were sent via email and were kind of manipulated in a way, the content was manipulated, the fixing rates are quite sobering. So we believe, but factors such as the value of the website and delegation has not been addressed in this research. So we believe that they could provide additional explanation why email notifications are not as effective as they could be. should be considered in the future. On the other side, if the website value is high, we believe that a good communication, for instance, via vulnerability notifications, might be effective if all other issues that we identified and other researchers are appropriately addressed. For instance, if all the risks should be communicated in there, not only the ones to the website owner, but really to the entire online community, it should really state that it is the website owner who's responsible and accountable for the website and vulnerabilities. And if it states that technical support might be appropriate at a certain point in time. Now, for more general recommendation, I would refer you to the paper. Okay, let's wrap this up. Vulnerabilities in content management system pose a serious risk to the entire online community, but many website owners do not update their systems. And we designed a study to find out why this is the case based on grounded theory. Now, our results showed or identified interesting factors that had not been explicitly addressed in prior literature, such as the value of the website and delegation. And we also came up with a framework of barriers preventing updates that might be helpful in the future to identify website owners that might be still swayed to update. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Were there any specific cases when you interviewed website owners that were out of the ordinary in terms of like what their value for a website is, or why they don't patch? Any anecdotal examples, like if you can shed some light on some of the interviews of the website owners, not the professionals.
Yeah, why they didn't patch. I mean, there are many explained in the paper, or a few. I mean,
which one was your
in regard
favorite?
to the website, I mean, like the website, yeah, the website owners, it was really, the value of the website really depended on the purpose of the website for their business activities. So in some cases, participants, it was really, it has really a high value for their business in terms of gaining profits. So this was one reason why it was important. But then, for instance, one woman had the plan to retire in the future. So the site she let aside, the site was still outdated because she didn't see the point of putting money and effort into further updating the site. So this was one interesting case where there was a high website value there, and she actually, the website was important to her, but she didn't see the reason to.
Were there any individuals that were using these automated backup solutions where if your website gets hacked, they can just roll it back and things like that?
Exactly. So this was actually justification of them to leave the website as it is, because they said, oh, I have this alternative safety backup. I can this alternative security measure. I can just load it up again or bring it up into the system because they had it backed it up. So that was their alternative security measure.
Yes,
there were yes,
right,
those examples. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Or if not, let's thank our speaker.